Right, ladies and gentlemen, apologies for the delay. Again, we did have technical issues. We've decided we're going to redo the one-shot qualifying just to give the drivers another shot at it, especially the ones that have just joined us. So we did have a few drivers that obviously joined us here. Fossetti, just chilling, Beaker, and Little John as well. They've all decided to get involved with this, so thank you for those guys. But now we're going to have rain. This is going to be a very exciting one. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of spins, a lot of rotations on the one shot, and I think we might be seeing a few DNFs this time around. Racebook is going to be the one who's going to be a little bit miffed, to be honest, given the fact that he was in P1 after their one-shot qualifying at the end of the last one, but he has got the raw talent and the skill in order to pull this back together. So we'll see. How is he going to fare going through this very wet track? He's currently sitting around about midfield, but it's very easy to make a mistake. And it already, look at that, perfect little run there, battling up there with Beaker for P1 and 2. Piloto is retired, unfortunately. That sounds like a big mistake going out of turn 2 into turn 3. Bit of wobble there from Racebook, now coming up towards turn 4. He's going to keep it nice and tidy. He's currently sitting up there in race lead, in pole position. Vania's right there as well, actually, in P2, just scrapping away with Beaker. These guys seem to be very close together. Racebook is the only person who seems to be very comfortably out there and ahead. Lawless is involved in that battle as well with Beaker and Vania. Fossetti's not that far behind from the looks of things. We haven't got the gap, or at least nothing I can see, to suggest how far away they are from each other. But you can see the names jostling around a fair bit there. Max is currently sat down in P8 with JC in 9th. And Little John there in 10th place. He's just claimed a place. Fossetti has had a big mistake. He's now down in P10. Whereas Racebook is still going strong and really pushing. Currently holding on to P1 again. If he can deliver the same again, he's going to be very, very pleased. In both conditions, both wet and dry, excelled in comparison to the other drivers. And managing to get pole position both times in a row would be absolutely incredible. Vania is trying to take that away from him. Beaker's just trying to stay there in the top 3. Lawless is scrapping with him to hold on to that. But Racebook now, 2 corners to go. There's one, and coming up is the second. Is Racebook going to be able to cross the line and take the pole position? It's looking likely. Here he comes, and he does take pole by a good margin. 4/10 is the time there. And then in P2 you got Vania. P3 you got Max. P4 you got Dark Demise. P5 you got JC. As a fair few drivers did, in fact, disqualify due to running a little bit wide. Right, that was the qualifying. So we're seeing that it's quite wet. Now, are we going to see the same conditions when we come into the feature race? But here's the rundown after the qualifying session. So Racebook takes a solid P1 with Vania in P2, Max Thorn taking 3rd, Dark Demise in 4th, JC in 5th with Little John in 6th, Beaker takes 7th, Lawless takes 8th, Duxie B takes 9th, Fossetti and Piloto both got disqualified due to running wide, and the other 2 didn't actually get to put a time in. Well, they better hope and pray that we don't have another rain situation, as it looks like Racebook will be running away with it. Vania might be the only person who's able to actually challenge it if the qualifying is anything to base it on. But still, this is looking like it's going to be a very exciting race nonetheless. It's dry. Okay, it's a little bit overcast, not exactly the best weather conditions, so it'll still promote some exciting racing nonetheless. We're going to see DRS after lap 3, obviously. But it's kind of a tough one. You need to have like an all-round setup. You can't just go for a straight-out, raw straight-line pace, because the only real area you can do that is on the home straight, and the rest of the actual track requires you to have a good level of aerodynamics, and if you don't, then you are going to have a lot of problems. I have been informed that it's going to rain after 20 minutes, which I don't think we're going to get to see that, as I'm pretty sure it ends before that point. But we do have a formation lap, and so we're going to get underway with that right now. Everybody has chosen to go on the medium compound tyres. I have seen it once or twice where people have gone for the softs, but mediums do tend to be the better tyre to be on. Max Thorn there in P3, and sporting the BWT pink car, sorry. I wonder if Max can actually deliver today on this track. Oh, who's that that's ran off? Is that JC? It was. It's just chilling. Had a bit of an issue going through turns 1 and 2. Ended up having to cut 3 pretty severely, and now he's in this pickle here now. Luckily, he's got this done and out of the way on the formation lap, because if he hadn't, that would have been pretty tragic. I wonder who is going to get the better start. Racebug's actually had exceptional performances so far every week that he's raced in the F2. He's really delivered. Vanya is quick and has been very quick, but has recently only just joined the F2 side of things, and it's been pretty exciting nonetheless. Vanya can be fast, does get involved in a fair few incidents on track. Not always his fault. Oh, big off in the background. Pretty sure that was that Duxby? No, it wasn't. Was that JC? No, Piloto? Could potentially have been Piloto. Or it was not, it was this man here, Falsetti. Kind of not really surprising. He is that kind of driver who would make those sorts of mistakes. We are waiting for him now to get up to the grid, as majority of the other drivers will be there. There's another yellow flag in Sector 3. Sounds like it's coming up in the downhill chicane. There he is. Slowly creeping to his box, but when he gets there, we will get underway with this Grand Prix, and I already can expect this to be very dramatic. Lots of issues with other cars on the track, I can imagine, and hopefully lots of close-knit wheel-to-wheel racing. But we are here, it's ready to go, all 5 lights are on, and I am super excited to get underway with this F2 Grand Prix. Immediately lights go out. It's very delayed start actually there, and I'm looking to see how Max can deliver in this car. Lots of wheel spin, not quite getting the pace that he needs down there. Vanya is now your race leader. Racebook had a really bad start here. Coming up towards turn 1, Vanya is going to have the inside, so that is going to be race lead taken to Vanya now, which is great stuff for him. Dr. is really trying to get involved there with Max. It's just not working out for him as it stands. Just chilling, trying to go around the outside. Doug's Bees managed to claim a place on Little John, but it's so far so good, as all the cars have done a pretty solid job of keeping it very clean and tidy. No issues really to report. There is a lot of chopping and changing happening further downfield, as JC is having a scrap there with Lollers and Beaker. Beaker's just ran a bit wide, and Lollers gets 2 cars in one corner, and now he's going to be trying to just secure that, as Beaker's got the inside, and he has. Lollers up into P5, already having a bit of an issue there. Looks like he just didn't upshift quick enough. A little bit of contact. Oh, big contact. Lollers just comes across Beaker. Beaker runs into the side of him, and that was, I think it was nothing more than a racing incident, but Beaker did get completely rotated. Now off into the gravel. He's going to have to try and bring his car back on the track. He does not look like a happy bunny. We'll see if it keeps that way, but we are coming up into the braking zone. Racebook gets dove on by Max. Max manages to get down the inside. Big contact again. Lollers. That's 2 cars in 3 corners, was that? Where he's had issues, contact on the track. Lollers needs to be more careful than that. Can't have that happening on track much more, otherwise we will be seeing some issues overall. Dr. is coming up to the back of Racebook here. No DRS yet to work with, but does have lots of slipstream, but so does Racebook in front. The only person really in trouble here is Lollers, as Lollers is literally just ahead of Racebook, and that can easily change with the fact that he's got no slipstream to work with. He doesn't have any DRS either to worry about, but still, it doesn't take much to really fall apart. Big shunt there from Racebook into Lollers. That was not how you want to be doing that overtake. You got massive damage and a 2-second time penalty as a result for that. It feels bad. So he's letting Lollers back through. Ooh, I'm not sure what that was about. It looked like he was trying to catch him there. Oh, and he's actually pushed off JC at the same time. Not JC, sorry, Piloto. Piloto's just managed to get round him on the outside, which is good stuff to see. But that was very big, very lots of contact. And Juxaby is getting forced to the outside. He's going to take the inside line here through this pretty tight left. Just chilling, isn't really able to do much more than that. Here we are, you can see just chilling, going down the inside of Duxaby. They are side by side as they come through. Duxaby just gets pushed a little bit towards curb. A big crash! Huge incident. Duxaby, more! Who was that? Was that JC and Piloto? I think Piloto's lost his entire front wing there. That is more drama. I mean, I had a feeling it was going to be pretty dramatic throughout, but so far it is absolutely just disaster, left, right and centre. So yellow flag sector 2. Is that Duxaby trying to get himself back on the track? No, he's back on as well, and so is JC. Duxaby has 0 front wing, whereas JC is just missing a lot on the right hand side, keeping himself sort of limping around. I think these two will both be going into the pits. I think Piloto's in a similar situation. I think he's also lost the right hand side. Yeah, you can see how hard he's struggling to get the car around. Into the pits he goes. Racebug is already in there as well and gets a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Racebug just cannot seem to get the race to go with him and stay together as Dark Demise is right here on the back of Lil Jon. This is going to be a really good battle here, and he's also got Lawless getting involved in this as well. Lawless has already had 2 incidents on track that he's been involved in. Let's see if he can avoid it, making it 3. He's trying to close up on him pretty quickly, though, looking for an inside line. It's not really the one there to go, but Dark Demise has run wide, which is giving Lawless the opportunity to go for it, but he just hasn't got the grip, hasn't got the performance, and that's why you see him staying there in P5. How is everyone else faring? We got obviously pit lane still very active, very much going on. There's Dark Demise making a big mistake. Here comes Lawless trying to get past again. Dark Demise is just getting in the right way to be able to stop him from getting through, but there is a bit of touch and go from the two of them. Dark Demise gets sent wide a little bit, but Lawless is now up into P4. Dark Demise still there to have a chance at giving him a good push. Now DRS will be enabled. It does mean that there is an opportunity there for him to attack back, as Lawless does not have DRS on the car in front as it stands. Max Thorn does, though. He's right here on the back of Vanier as they come round the final 2 corners now. Vanier's going to have to really get a good drive out of here, because we know what Max is like. He tends to run a very low sort of aerodynamic downforce just so he can go as fast as possible, and he's just set the fastest lap to boot as well. 1:33. 1:63 is now the fastest lap, as we only have 5 more laps to go. Who's that at the back there? Is that Just Chillin'? Who's currently... Yeah, it is. Just Chillin' has lost out dramatically throughout all of that. I think he's had to pit twice just to get himself back together. He lost out a lot, though, unless he just got stacked up there with Piloto, which I believe is his teammate. Here it is. Where's Dark Demise? Ran seriously wide there going through turn 3. Lawless is there, still in P4. Dark Demise is trying his best, but it looks like he's just really fighting with the car's understeer. Not quite working out how he wanted it to. Alright. Max Thorn, though, still... Actually, he's right on the back here of Vanier. Vanier's going to have DRS, yep, to Just Chillin', as you can imagine. With the fact that Just Chillin' is actually really struggling here. Oh, Max is locked up. No contact, though. He's managed to dodge Vanier just enough. It wasn't too risky, though. There's still a lot of runoff area, but Vanier is struggling. You can see Max breathing all over the back of him here, pushing him right to the max. Just Chillin' is getting in the way as well. He's going to be blue flagged, so he's going to have to dive out the way in just a second. There is the blue flags. He's already moved out of the way. Good guy, JC, getting out of the way for this battle. But Vanier now is going to be in serious trouble. So close is the gap now. Max makes a big wobble. This is going to give Vanier a bit of breathing room, but it doesn't stop the fact that we have a very fast Max charging after him with the DRS wing wide open. There's no ERS to play with in these cars. It's purely just absolutely go for it. Turn the rich fuel up. Make sure you don't lose the back end or lock up. And now Max stays where he is. So Dark Demise and Fossetti are having a few issues as well. Fossetti's lost a couple of places. I'm looking if he's got damage. I don't see any. Car is still going okay. Lawless is leading this little battle at the minute with Dark Demise. Slow, no, Fossetti, keep it out of the wall. Oh, he just about managed to hold on to his front wing. Nearly lost all of it there. That would have been tragic if that did happen, but Fossetti feeling a little bit sort of, I don't know, nervous potentially, or just making mistakes in general, but Fossetti doing Fossetti things and not how he wants that to pan out. Racebug now sets the fastest lap time on the boards. Piloto then goes ahead and beats it with a 1:32.447. Max actually fallen off the back of Vanier quite considerably now. You'd have thought at one point on this track, you would have thought that Max would very easily pass Vanier on the home straight, especially with the fact that he had so much power. Made that one little wobble going around the final corner, and that gave Vanier just enough breathing room to run away. Max Thorn stays P2 as it stands for now, and he's just about to break into that 1 second DRS if he can carry on with this level of pace. We are missing someone. So that's a oh, that was JC making a big off there. He ends up retiring from the session. So now we're down to 9 drivers. Max still now within DRS range, does have the wing wide open, is going to start closing it up, but this is the area where he seems to be struggling in the turns 1, 2 and 3. Seems to be just sort of letting the car run too deep there. It did find that time, actually. now it's going to be more of a case of just maintaining this, as Dark Demise is right here on the back of Lawless. They're going to be coming into the braking zone. There's going to be contact between the two, and then Dark Demise goes into the side of Lawless. Lawless loses control and then ends up going back into Dark Demise. Dark Demise is ahead, has got P4, does have wing damage that I think Lawless also has on the left-hand side. As you can see, Dark Demise had it on the right. And Lawless is coming in like a bullet now. Dark Demise leaving that little bit of a gap there on the inside. It's going to bring Lawless back through. I don't know if Dark Demise actually just let him have his position back. It did kind of look like he felt he went a bit deep there, went a bit hard, and his way of apologising is to let Lawless back through, but also to then continue the battle. There's no damage actually on Lawless' car, so Lawless is actually going to be benefiting from this regardless, purely because Dark Demise is just going to be a little bit slower when it comes to these long right and lefts. This bit here is where you're going to see Dark Demise really sort of struggle. Although he actually looked pretty clean there. Going to have DRS wing as well to bring himself a little bit closer. Max Thorn on the back of Vanya again. We are approaching the final area of the track. And this is going to be the opportunity for Max to properly give it another bash. This is the exit that needs to be perfect. Vanya did get a good exit, but not good enough, as Max is right here on the back of him. Wing now wide open. Vanya knows it. He can feel the pressure. Moves to the inside. This is Max's opportunity. This is all his to take. Vanya is just going to try and hold the inside even more. I think Max was thinking that Vanya was going to try and come out wide. Vanya has actually ran deep there. This is going to give Max the run through that he needs. Is Vanya going to be able to rejoin in the right place, or is he going to just stay outside of it? He's got the outside line. Max is going to be tearing it down the inside. He's got the grip to do this, and I think this is going to be Max taking race lead again. We are going to be side by side coming up towards turn 5. Max is a nose ahead, but Vanya is sticking it through. If he can hold this out for just one more corner, we might see Vanya hold on to race lead. And I think if he gets cut back, which Max is trying for, Vanya did a sincerely good job there of recovering from that mistake he made as Max is going for an inside line. This is ballsy, but somehow they don't collide. Somehow Vanya defends it. He reads that whole situation perfectly, and Vanya stays race lead for now, but Max has DRS wing. This is going to be a nice charge. He's actually closed his wing again and actually fallen behind Vanya for whatever reason. He's almost going to run into him. I thought there was going to be contact between the two, but they've kept it clean enough together, and Vanya is still race lead. I'm not sure what happened to Max there. It kind of looked like he just backed off to let Vanya back through. I don't know if he felt a little bit uneasy, a bit unfair, or however, but this is the situation. This is what it's going to be like, at least for the end of this lap, as Vanya, again, I'm not sure what's happening. Max is passing him and then giving him the position back. Is this Max trying to show off, or is Max just making big mistakes? Rain, though. Rain is here. You can see it. If you look at the halo of the car on Max, it has definitely got raindrops falling on it. This is where we might see more issues here. Vanya again going defensive down the inside in towards turn 1. Max is definitely going to be ahead of him and the lead up to it, but he's going to be on the outside. This is going to be a tough one. He's managed to get the overtake done, but he loses the back end. Vanya has to back out, otherwise there would have been contact there. Vanya definitely made it faster through there, but Max just was too much in the way. Vanya had to back out, and now it's going to be Vanya trying to bring that gap just a little bit closer. And the longer this battle carries on, the more chance that Little John has of closing back in here and getting up onto these race leader and the battle for P1. You can see Vanya is still all over the back of him, but it's just time that's being destroyed here as Little John is really closing up. 1.75 is the current gap. It's just extended a little bit to 1.76, but it's going to drop again in just a second when you can see how much they are struggling throughout this area of the track. The rain being here as well is not going to be making it any easier for them. The rain is not severe enough as it stands to really cause too much more hassle. Falsetti's just pit as well. He's gone to the soft tyres, and I think he may have made probably the right decision, I guess, to go on the softs, because I don't think the rain is going to be hard enough by the time we get to the end of this race to warrant them going on to anything other than dry compound tyres. Falsetti should be fast. Max again. I think Max is deliberately doing this to try and just keep the pain and pressure on Vanya. He's backed off there to let himself get the DRS again. And now he's just made that mistake. That big wobble means Vanya is actually safe here. All that's done is put Max back into P2 rather than actually just hold on to the position. He tried to be smart, tried to do something out of the ordinary, and it backfired pretty severely. Vanya is P1 and is going to stay like this as Max is just struggling with this car. Little John made a mistake as well at some point. He's really fallen back. 2.7 seconds is the gap now between these, and they cannot afford really for that to happen much more. Vanya is kind of doing a good enough job. He just needs to maintain this gap. Even when it comes to the next DRS zone, Max won't be close enough to be able to do anything. As long as Vanya holds the inside line and stops Max from getting the cutback on him, Vanya should easily hold on to this race lead and the win, and that will be crucial for him. But if we take a look at the fastest lap, remember Piloto did set it in Max. Oh, that was a big back-end kick out there. Big tank slapper. He's kept it just about pointing in the right direction. These cars have a lot of oversteer anyway. And to see that, oh, that is unfortunately Forsetti, who's out on the home straight. Look at the car. Massive contact there with the wall. And he's lost his front right wheel. Max still trying to close it to Vanya, but his little cunning move ended up costing him the race win. He's now going to stay P2. He still has an opportunity to get the second part of the weekend. Remember, there is a sprint race to go with this, but it just is not working out well for him. Here we are then for the final time in this feature race. Vanya will come around the final corner, and after a really, really dramatic race, he's going to take the 25 points, and Max Thorne's going to take second place. Little John finishes not that far behind in third, with Lawless slowly but surely coming around here in fourth place. Dark Demise will make it in second. Is he? No, he's just having a little bit of a wobble there just to have a little bit of fun. Dark Demise coming around this second to last now, and now the final. DRS has been disabled, which does mean it is now in a position where dry tyres are not going to work very well at all. Here comes Dark Demise up to the line. There he is. Racebug, who had a brilliant qualifying session, had a very horrible race, and it's getting worse. Oh, there's contact with the wall, and actually Piloto is going to be coming into this as well. You can see him. This is an opportunity for him if he can get it really going good. Racebug has got penalties. I think this actually might promote Piloto up a place. It does. Piloto jumps the place on Racebug right at the end due to Racebug's big mistake there on the second to last. So what was going to be P7 for Piloto jumps him up to P6, and immediately he starts to get good stuff. So here is the podium. Step Vanya taking P1 with Max there in a solid P2, and Little John takes P3 there in the Carlin car. So look at the point situation then. So Vanya is P1 with 25 points. Max P2, 18 points. Little John, 15 in third. Lawless takes fourth with 12 points. Dark Demise and Piloto, they're both tied for 10 because Piloto got the fastest lap as well. Racebug there in 7th place. Due to his penalty, he did lose that place to Piloto. Duxie B crossed the line and took 8th. Sorry, Forsetti, we saw crash on the last lap, did DNF in big style, smashing it off into the wall, and that is the end of his race, and looking like he's not going to be taking part in the next race either. Just Chillin and Beaker, both F1 drivers, really not having a good time. Beaker did unfortunately have contact with him and Lawless. Whose fault was it? I honestly don't know. It looked like it was a racing incident to my eyes at first, but there's been many times where I've been wrong, so it's not really anything to go by. Qualifying situation is actually a three-way battle here for P5. Because Racebug got the qualifying, he gets those 4 points. He managed to recover the area that he lost earlier. But now that's the sort of track temperatures I like to see. A very nice sunny sky, meaning it's going to be very, very hot on the track. This is Spanish track, remember. They are easily going to be benefiting from that temperature increase. They'll be seeing lots of opportunities. Drivers are on the grid box at the minute, getting prepared for this race. Going to be thinking about this strategy, any ties they want to go on to. Now, we've seen in previous races, default would go for the harder of the compounds between the soft and mediums. And you'd find that he was actually really quite fast on this track. It'd be good to see if he could do the same thing again, obviously, if he was going to join us. But we might see a lot of the other drivers try the same sort of strategy. Now, usually Dark Demise is pretty good in the sprint races, but not necessarily in the anything else. It was Falsetti that was meant to be joining us here. We have got Overspeed in here. There he is. So Overspeed will be joining us, replacing Falsetti. He's chosen a different car anyway, but Overspeed is just here to make it look extra special and extra spicy. Tyre situation, majority of the drivers did choose the softs. Those that didn't were Beaker, Max, and Racebug. Now these, again, are drivers that are very clever when it comes to this sort of situation. They will be slow at first, and they will be struggling for grip throughout the first few laps. But when it gets to about lap 6, lap 5, lap 6, lap 7, they will be so much faster than the softs. The softs will disintegrate pretty hard here. It's going to be an opportunity for the others to really push and defend as hard as can be. Alright, Racebug will be starting from the front of the grid. Piloto will be taking 3rd, Dactymi is taking 4th, and this is Racebug's sort of prime area to be now. It didn't quite work out well the last time he was in pole position, as we saw at the beginning of the last race. He ended up losing the position pretty swiftly. He is on the mediums, so like I said, initially I expect that he might lose a fair few places, but if he can really hold on to it, he might actually be quite quick. Alright then, here we go. So everybody getting back into the grid boxes, thinking about what they want to plan out here, how they're going to attack this. Those that are on the right hand side do have the added benefit of being on the inside for the corner, but this is a very tough track to get a nice little battle. If you can get a good start, you can easily jump a place or two, but we're going to see who has the minerals to do it. There's a gap there in the middle of the pack. That was where Falsetti was going to be, but we do have the lights out, and now slowly but surely delayed away. Here we go. The Piloto needing to get a good start. Racebug there in P1. Look at the pace that Piloto's got here. He's going to be charging down towards turn 1. He's going to be on the outside now, but he's going to be quite far ahead. Might actually be able to come across him. He's not, so he's going to have to give enough room to Racebug in order to make sure he doesn't collide with him. He's kept it together just about enough. There's a battle going on further down as Beaker's lost the place. He's down into P10. Just chilling is there up down in P9 now as Overspeed has managed to claim both of these drivers. Really pushing himself as Vanny is also getting on the inside of Little John. Little John comes back over to just protect it. This means that Vanny's going to have to take the outside line. He is trying it, but I don't think he's going to be able to maintain that level of grip. And Overspeed has lost it. Big spin there. There's also more contact as well. I think Just Chilling's gone off. He has. Don't think there was actually contact between the two drivers. I think they both just separately lost it. Beaker now back up into P8, living it up to the dream. Now he's going to be trying to close it up a fair bit. There's big contact further down. Beaker's just about avoided all of that now, but Little John, Vania, and Max Thorne all getting involved in a little bit of contact. Overall, there's more as well, but somehow Little John manages to just avoid all of that. Overspeed clipping the curb there. You saw his car bounce just a touch. Not how you want to be taking that area of the track if you can avoid it. But Piloto has started off so well. He's now going to be a race leader as we come towards the end of the first lap. Lawlers is in 3rd place behind Racebug, who's just lost out on the opening stretch, to the sprint was the word I was looking for. On the opening sprint towards turn 1. You can see now that's how it's panned out, as Lil John is trying to benefit from the slipstream he's going to have on Beaker. Beaker's not really going to have that slipstream, but he's also got a better drive by the looks of things, and it's going to be purely down to Lil John to do whatever he can to close it back up. I don't think the gap is going to be there for him. The times are all out of kilter at the minute, so ignore that on the left-hand side. Lap 3 is when we're going to see the real timings. That's when it's going to matter the most. But we're going to talk about the biggest winners and the biggest losers. So far, the biggest winner is Beaker. He's managed to claim up 5 places overall. Next up is Overspeed, who's there in 8th place. He's managed to claim 4 places. And we do have Dark Demise, who's lost 6 places from the start of this Grand Prix. Big issues there. Lawlers right here on the back of Racebug. Racebug's race, it looked good in the qualifying, but somehow he's just falling apart. Although, remember, he is on the medium compound tyres. I did expect them to be slow initially, and they are all seeming to be just like that. Max Thorne is doing pretty solid. He's managed to claim 3 places, and he's also on the medium compound tyres as well, so he might actually be able to really push himself and get back onto the podium step again for the 2nd time this weekend. This is going to be the final race, remember, before we transition over to the F1 race. Just Chilling getting a 2-second time penalty. Things are just not going well for him. He's trying to beat Dr. Mice here, but it's just not working out well for him at all. He's trying to keep with him. It's just not going to be enough. And we're going to see now Lawler's right here on the back of Dr. Mice. Piloto manages to set the fastest lap time. I'm not sure how he's got to that area of the track already. But that's because I'm looking at the wrong area and looking now at Lawler's. Trying to bring himself up there, but it's just not going to happen. Vanier on the back of Max Thorn. We see in these battle last time round. Vanier's going to be trying to take the outside line going through turn 1. He's not going to benefit from that. He might be able to get a good line coming in towards turn 3, but he's just ran a little bit tight, which means he's going to have to really take it slowly. Max Thorn also not really getting much of a pace away from that, so Vanier is going to be breathing on him for a little while longer, but no positions will be changed anytime soon. Lawler's here, P3, trying to still attack Racebook, take P2 away from him if possible. Max is still quite the way back there, is in P4. 4 seconds is the gap now between 3 and 4. And it was all because that little area on the track that they've just been through there, where they had issues. Vanier still on the back of him here, still closing it up. DRS is going to be enabled here for them to go for it. There you go, wing wide open now, as we are on lap 3. But no, he's just too far back. He had a lot of understeer going through turn 9. Overspeed trying to attack Little John. Oh, big wobble there from Little John. This is going to be Overspeed now, trying to bring himself back up, but it's just going to be for nothing at the minute. There's nowhere to go here through this area of the track. You can't just dive down the inside if there's no space to go for, and you can't just take it around the outside if you haven't got the grip for it. You're going to have to play it smart. You're going to have to keep it really tidy. Beaker is almost within DRS range of Vanier, but he's also almost in DRS range of Little John. He's right behind him. Overspeed had a big mistake there, but he still kept himself right here on the back of him. Little John had to go seriously defensive on the inside now. As you can see, Overspeed is trying to get past him. He's got the outside slingshot past him, and I think he is going to be ahead, but it's going to be Little John trying to keep alongside of him for turn 1. Overspeed is going to have to take it to the outside ledge, and he's kept it just about together. Overspeed is up now into P7. Vanier is still battling with Max. Max had a big wobble there. There's a little bit of a weave between the two of them. Max is now going to be running wide as a result, and here comes Vanier down the inside. Big contact between the two of them, but Vanier has managed to catch his car and keep himself in the same position. He has lost a fair bit of time to Max, and Beaker now breathing down this battle. Might be able to take P4 from these two drivers if that becomes available, but 3 more laps to go. Not a lot of time for these guys to really pan it out. Going to need to really push themselves and break that gap. 5.5 seconds now is the gap between P3 and P4. It's looking like this battle is going to be just for P4 and nothing more, as Lawler's also there scrapping with Racebook, but he's just about on the limit of DRS there. Overspeed is not far off this battle for P4 as well. He might actually be able to make this a 4-way battle for the 4th position. He's going to have to be a little bit quicker than that. He's now within DRS range. Beaker's had a big mistake somewhere along the lines. Lawless gets a 2-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so that'll be a mixture of corner cutting and extending of track limits. But here is Max in trouble now. Vanier is quite far back, but will have an opportunity to really slingshot through 1, 2, and 3 as long as he can make and carry the momentum. Look at the pace. He's closing up on him so quickly now. Max Thorn. Oh, Vanier just ran it a bit deep there. He's still very close to the back of him. There's no doubt about that. And Overspeed's right here on the back of Beaker. Beaker's lost out massively to this battle. He's 1.3 seconds now behind Vanier. They both run wide. Vanier, it looks like Overspeed just followed Beaker around the track, and that has cost him a fair bit. But Vanier's still scrapping with Max. This battle has been ongoing since the last race in the feature race. This hasn't ended. Max Thorn is still holding on to P4. We're seeing yellow flag in Sector 2. That is Overspeed. It is indeed Overspeed. He's lost out 2 places. He was ahead of Little John. He's now lost out to both of them. He's now down into P9. So whilst it was looking good for him to get involved in this battle for P4, all that's happened is he's just fallen down the order. And it's not looking too good. One thing that is looking good is this battle still ongoing for Vanier and Max Thorn. They're going to be trying to get down the inside. There's nowhere for him to go. Max Thorn manages to defend it, drive the widest car, and Vanier is going to have to just bide his time, keep it together, go for the final stretch on the home straight. We might see the overtake happen there. Piloto, throughout all of this, has done an exceptional job of maintaining P1 throughout. And this is the area of the track where I predicted that his tyres would fall off. And looking at it, the softs in overall are actually doing well to hold on here. Max is in trouble. This time Vanier has got everything he needs. Max has got nothing for this. This is just going to be Vanier. Even though he ends up going onto the grass, Max is just not going to be able to benefit from this. There's going to be a lot of... Oh, I thought he was going to run into him, but no. Vanier holds on to P4. Max is still keeping on the back of him, but it's going to be nothing more than that. But Max is coming through the inside now in towards turn 4, but he can't get it. He's got the grip, but he just hasn't got the pace. Vanier manages to carry the momentum around the outside and stays together, but Max is going again down the inside. Big lunge, and somehow Vanier is still ahead, but Max is going to get the better drive. If Vanier can hold on the inside, which he looks like he can, he will be able to do a similar situation back to Max, and yes, he has. P4 stays Vanier's. Max still scrapping with him, and I fully expect that he's going to send it down the inside here, trying to break later, trying to keep alongside of him. There's more contact between the two of them. Back end kicking out there for Max, losing it just because of the contact. He did do that to himself by running a bit deep into the corner. It was a risk he was running, but he's got the wing now wide open. I don't think he's going to be able to attack here. It's just not enough of a straight line in order for him to benefit so much from the DRS. Vanier still ahead though. They're in P4. Oh, big wobble there from Max. Only one more lap to go as the race leader is not far away from the line. He's going to be able to cross it in just a second. We will be starting this final lap. Piloto doing an exceptional job here. I want to see if Max can really attack this. He needs to get a better exit, and he just hasn't. Look at the back end. He kicked out there. He's lost a lot of time trying to get as much pace through there as possible. His wing is open. He is going to be slipstreaming like crazy down this home straight, but it's just not going to be enough. He's just not done enough to keep himself with Vanier, but he has chosen a much wider line, which is going to give him the run that he needs. Might be able to benefit here. This is what we didn't see earlier from Vanier, and this is what we haven't seen yet from Max, is the line that he took there. He's ran a bit wide, but he's still just about together. And now he's right here on the back of Vanier again. So now if Vanier makes a mistake, there will be an opportunity for a change here as Overspeed and Little John further downfield. They've swapped places. Little John is going to be back up into P8 as Overspeed is trying to get past him. Not a great deal more he can do. He's trying to take the outside line here. He's got no other place but to be. And that is a very tight and very tough challenge. He's doing well though. He's just about done it. Well done from Overspeed to get around the outside there. That is an absolutely difficult overtake to pull off, and he's delivered it. So good stuff from him, and he's actually not that far away from the guy in front as well, you can see. But Max Thorne is here on the back of him, going for a big lunge. There's Vanier also trying to close it. He moved under the brake, and that was very risky, very dangerous there from Vanier to perform what he did. Max went for a big dive there, but nothing further has come of it. Vanier is doing his absolute hardest to try and protect himself from this, as Lawless is just getting penalty after penalty. But Piloto comes around the final corner, will cross the line and take the win, with Racebook taking second. Lawless, who does have a lot of penalties, is going to come across the line and take third for now. I'm not sure how much penalty he does have. I believe he's got 6 seconds, but I could be wrong. As Max is coming up to the line, he's going to take P4. Vanier takes P5. Beaker takes 6th. Dark Demise will take 7th. But he Overspeed and Little John. Overspeed takes 8th. Little John takes 9th as he speeds in the pit lane. And that is the end of his race there. Very exciting stuff. Exactly what we want to see in these F2 weekends. And now let's go and get the rundown for the weekend as we have seen it. So, after everything considered, Vanier is your weekend winner with 31 points. Piloto takes second with 27 points. Then 1 point behind is Max Thorne there in third with 26. Lawless takes fourth with 22. He's tied with Racebug for fourth place, who also has 22. Little John has sixth with 15. Dark Demise has 7th with 12. Beaker has 4 points. Just to then has 1. And Overspeed, who joined for the second race, also has 1. So that is it for the F2 side.